Shohei Ohtani, to me, is the greatest baseball player to ever live. Kids need to look to great athletes for doing things like that. Anytime he steps into the batter's box, he greets the ump, tips his hat to the ump, to the catcher, tips his hat to the pitcher. I mean, come on, man. Who's doing that these days? There's something different about him. There was a pitcher that hit another one of the Padres players from the Dodgers, and they retaliated and threw at Shohei and drilled him, salivating, snot bubbles, ready to fight. And he looked back at his teammates and he said, "We're good. We're good. That's different."
速報です。米国の超有名コーチスコット・ワーナー氏が大谷翔平選手を大絶賛。
大谷翔平というアスリートにずっと感銘を受けてます。僕にとって大谷翔平は史上最高の野球選手
とまで言い切り、ぞっこんぶりを猛烈アピールしました。それではここから一気にご覧ください。
I'm curious because with coaching sports, I'm sure you're a fan of a ton of athletes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd love to see, you can only pick one athlete. Who is your favorite athlete and why?
Man, it's interesting that you asked me this question now, because I just had this conversation. So there's athletes of the past and there's current athletes. I'll tell you an athlete that has blown my mind over the course of the past few years. There's actually two of them, but I'm going to start with one. His name's Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, to me, is the greatest baseball player to ever live. But if you watch this man outside of what he does on the field, you start recognizing true greatness. I don't think I've ever seen a more humble, genuine person. How he treats his opponents. Anytime he steps into the batter's box, he greets the ump, tips his hat to the ump, to the catcher, tips his hat to the pitcher. I mean, come on, man. Who's doing that these days? There's something different about him. And there was a moment, I remember, they were playing the blessed Padres, who I have no love in my heart for, but I respect. There was a pitcher that hit another one of the Padres players from the Dodgers, and they retaliated and threw at Shohei and drilled him, I want to say right in his back. And as he's running to first, he could see his teammates in the dugout salivating, snot bubbles, ready to fight. And he looked back at his teammates and he said, "We're good. We're good. Come on."
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's different. And, I talked with my boys about this moment because that's the kind of stuff that makes you great. And that's the kind of stuff that resonates. You don't forget stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kids need to look to great athletes for doing things like that, not flaunting their bling on the freaking field.
Yeah.
Not, with ladies all around them, gambling and throwing down hundreds of thousands of dollars in Vegas on the weekend, driving the greatest sports car. It is that. It's things like that make you different. So I just have been so impressed with Shohei Ohtani as an athlete. And, he plays on the Dodgers, which makes me maybe a little biased. But I have just been so impressed with him. And I would say that he's probably my favorite athlete, or the athlete that I respect the most currently. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Sports has always been a big part of my life. I played football, rugby, and track growing up.
Which one was your love?
Probably rugby. I played over in South Africa when my dad was an LDS mission president. And so it was like contact without the pads.
That's how it's done, man.
And I'm like, when I look back now, I kind of regret I had 10 concussions. And so that's why I stopped playing, because my body was just beat up.
Jeez,
and it was
man.
just, my parents were like, "Yeah, you'll be brain dead."
10.
And I'm like, let's
Good
keep
gracious.
playing. And so after 10, I was like, it's time to hang it up. But
actually, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the game of football would be better without face masks? Maybe helmets up top, but do you think that we'd see less issues? Like, what if we took helmets off football players and let them play? Do you think the game would be the same? We've thought about that, because I feel like some of the recent changes to the rules have kind of taken away a little bit from some of the excitement of football. However, maybe you can take some of those penalties away if you take helmets off. Remember the old school helmets that they were leather with nothing on their face and stuff? Like, what do you think? I'm curious. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
That's an interesting. It either will lead to players playing softer and trying to be more protective of hitting, or it will do the opposite, and it will get back to the way that football was, and more hitting. But that changes the whole dynamic because you take away face masks. Now the defense can read the eyes of the offensive players, but vice versa. And so now you're going to have to rely on your natural talent versus being able to go off cues. So
That's right. The eyes are important.
Yeah, so it would change the game. It'd make it fun.
Yeah, it would be fun. I have to tell a quick story. So in high school, I played football at Mesa High. My junior year, we played a team called Brophy Prep. And they had an awesome quarterback. I can't remember his name. I hope this gets to him. But he had a glass eye. And I played in the secondary, right? So I was a cornerback. And you're reading those QB's eyes, right? I had no idea where this guy was looking. And none of the guys in the secondary did. And he was so good, man. He would fling that ball. And anyway, so the eyes matter. It'd be a lot easier to see eyes, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Peyton Manning, dude, that guy was incredible the way he would look at a receiver, but he was looking that way. And then he would just throw it that way.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway.
They also might have to start blurring the players' mouths if you...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if we could see, you're going to hear all the language.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some of these boys need to fix their potty mouths,
Well,
man.
it's funny. I was coaching a 7th grade PG Little League football team, and one of the BYU assistant coaches came to speak to the kids. Well, he swore while he was speaking, and to the kids, it was as if the world had ended. What? He can't swear? Can he do that? And I was like, welcome to football.
I'm telling you, man. But let me ask. Here's another topic. Let's talk about this for a minute. What does using profanity truly do for someone? Like, I think there's a time and a place. However, on the regular, what is that truly doing for someone? I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, so I view it a little differently because when I lived in Africa for 7 years of my life, and over there, our profanity is not the same for them. So the words are just in their normal conversations and sentences. And so living there and hearing it in different contexts, it was like, okay, is it really that bad? Or when is the time and a place? But then here, where it's so offensive, I think, see, and I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but if someone were to swear in front of me, if it's just guys, I almost never say anything.
Same.
But as soon as there's a female,
Interesting.
then I immediately step. I'm like,
Interesting.
Let's be more respectful. And in reality, it's like it should be the same across the board.
Yeah.
But I think the way our culture is around curse words, that's a good question.
It is. Yeah, for me, and some people may not like this. My mom definitely probably won't like it, but I've never truly been offended by foul language. I think it's because I've been around it my whole life. However, I feel like those that use it on a regular basis, as harsh as this sounds, they just don't sound as intelligent to me.
Yeah.
I feel like those that can choose the moments to use it, it can be a lot more powerful.
Yeah.
If you don't do it often.
Yeah.
Now, if you're dropping the bombs 24/7, like, how are we going to know that you're really, really furious?
Yeah.
Or so I think there's a time and a place to use it. I don't choose to use it. I mean, unless I'm livid.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said
with a hammer or something.
Yeah. It's I think there's a time and a place, but even then, there really isn't. And there's something to be said about people that can speak their mind in a way that doesn't have a bunch of bombs.
Yeah.
And that's my personal opinion, and no judgment.
I'm curious now. Now that we're on the subject, I got a question for you.
Yeah, man.
Especially with you being around athletes and different celebrities, what is your thought on the use of the N-word?
It's funny. So I played with a lot of my favorite brothers in the whole world, dude. All these black dudes were the greatest guys, and they use the word regularly.
Yeah.
So I just knew that there wasn't a time or place for me to say it. But what was funny is my brother could say it to them, and they would, what's up, dude? He could. I don't get it. Some people can get away with it, most people cannot. But for me, I know a lot of folks that use it. It's almost like a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a negative connotation associated with that word because of the past, and so I never use it. It doesn't bug me as much if I hear some of the boys say it to their friends and stuff. I'm not here or there with it. I feel like there's some definite places or times that it should never be used.
Yeah. I think context and place and time.
Yeah, I agree. And I really, and I don't know why, I've never seen color of skin as being, everyone's the same. Man, like some of my close friends, you know, their skin color is a lot different than mine, right? And they're my brothers. But I think it would be better to keep the word, you know, away from your vocabulary. But at the same time, I've also seen my buddies use it, and they use it as a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani is officially back in the World Baseball Classic for Team Japan, the defending champs from a few years ago. He made the announcement official on Instagram. Second, and I think very important as well for some fans that looked quickly at his initial post, he is not retiring. When you post an image of yourself and thank you fans, it could get confusing, especially for people who do not like to read, and that is a large percentage of the social media population. So whoever put this together via post and is running Shohei's social media channel, you did give everyone or some people a good scare, and it helped actually with engagement and activity. And it went from normal viral KP with Shohei making this announcement to a little extra virality that I do not think was planned. I think someone was just putting together some really pretty pictures, and they didn't know that it could appear as if Shohei was announcing something weird and not expected, like WBC.
Or did they? I feel like whatever Shohei touches kind of turns to gold. It wouldn't surprise me if this was by design, because the obvious, the WBC post, great. Yeah, we knew he was going to play. Like, it's very great for the WBC to have its best players, and obviously players in other countries kind of salivate for the idea of playing for their country, hoping players from the United States, and they are starting to get better players. Paul Skeens, Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge committing is great for what the WBC is. But the Dodgers post, yeah, on first glance, it looks like, is he retiring? Is he moving on? But I think everything Shohei does turns to gold, and it wouldn't surprise me if this was by design to get just the most insane reactions and engagement on, whatever social platforms he posted this on.
I mean, I might even use producer's lady's words here. Maybe Shohei knows what he's doing. Everybody, Shohei doesn't necessarily know, like, oh, I didn't know all the other stuff that was going on. And there's a little bit of, it's like, maybe he's naive. And so we don't think he actually trolls people. But producer lady pointed out that he kissed his dog when he won the MVP and not his wife, who was sitting right next to him. He trolled Lourdes Gurriel. And after the home run, when Lourdes put his hands up, like, he did the exact troll. And maybe right now he's trolling fans, like maybe him and Teo were like sitting back, and he's like, you know what, Teo, I've seen retirement posts. I'm going to make it look like I'm retiring and see if the fans like, he might like some sarcastic humor. So just makes Shohei more endearing to me.
I agree. We love a little Shohei personality. So if he was behind this, then I stand corrected. And I thank you, Shohei, for bringing us a little spiciness to content that's usually pretty run of the mill. We know that you love your country and you love competition, and that he was going to be participating in the World Baseball Classic. So we got it with a little extra sauce to it. Okay, will Shohei Ohtani be playing with Tatsuya Imai, who I think is the top free agent available coming over from Japan this offseason? Daisuke Matsuzaka asked him whether he wants to join a team like the Dodgers that can win the World Series, or a team that tries to beat them. The reply from Imai, quote, I want to beat them if I'm being honest. Hey, let's go. More from Imai on wanting to beat the Dodgers and sign elsewhere. Of course, playing together with Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Roki Sasaki sounds like it could be fun, but winning the World Series by defeating a team like that is something I feel would truly have value in my life. The ultimate underdog story starring Tatsuya Imai. And I actually know, I see Kratz picking up his phone right now, and I know what the call is, KP, so I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to pretend. I promise you we didn't script this. I think that this is Tatsuya Imai's agent calling Tatsuya and saying, don't do that. right now. You're kind of ruling out a team. No? Okay, all right, fine. I'll pick it up. Hello?
This is Buster Posey. Could I speak to Tatsuya Mai?
What's good? It's a my best hairstyle in the game, and I'm not even in the game yet.
We hate the Dodgers too, so an offer will be coming over shortly.
Okay, just make it really nice. Make it full of money, because my agent thinks that I'm kind of hurting my leverage with the Dodgers. Can you do that for me, Buster? No messing around. Oh wait, hold on. I'm going to make this a 3-way call.
Hey, this is Andrew Friedman. Whatever Buster's offering, we have more. Bye.
Okay, well, Andrew. Oh, we lost Andrew. Buster, are you still there? Did you hear that?
I heard it, but you've been spending for years, and my previous GM didn't go past 1 year with anybody, so I have a ton of money in the chest, and the ownership loves me. I control this city. We'll take MI. Thank you.
I love it. I want to see Tony Vitello with his intensity run through either a glass or brick wall. If you send me that video plus match the offer from Friedman, I'm in. Okay.
Buster hung up. He already said his last bit.
Done.
He said, look, we have the best roster in baseball. And I think he's right. And he said, we just haven't played very well. If they can find the mistakes that they made along the way and fix them and take the leftover starters that they have, Emmett Sheehan and Roki Sasaki, and use them out of the bullpen to fix that problem, I still think this is an exceptionally good team if they play to the roster potential that they have. Am I giving the Dodgers too much credit, Buster?
No, I think you're giving the exact credit that they deserve and they've earned. As one general manager said to me, when the postseason hits, it's like the Dodgers' DNA will kick in. I think that part of their slog through the regular season is boredom. You play in so many meaningful games year after year after year. You need the bright lights. I think they're going to respond to that. The big question is the 8th and 9th inning.
Yeah, the bullpen. I watched this series against Seattle this last weekend. Roki Sasaki, it's only 2 games, 2 innings, 4 strikeouts. Are they going to use him in a high leverage situation? Could you go 99, then that split? He could be a high leverage guy. And Blake Trinan, terrible year, but suddenly that sweeper, cutter, slider, whatever that pitch is, a lot of movement. The question, though, Tanner Scott, we still haven't seen enough from him. Is he going to be the closer? Because he's had a tough year.
Right, but I think we learned from the Dodgers last year. Dave Roberts used 2 openers in the League Championship Series and 1 in the World Series, and they still found a way to win it. I think they're going to be just as creative on how to use that bullpen using the starters in relief roles, and I think they'll find a way. Will Smith is a key coming back. He's as tough as any guy there is. I'm not positive he's going to play in the wild card series, but once he comes back, that lineup is going to be complete. And when that's a complete lineup, it's the best one in the National League.
And this guy Shohei's pretty good too, huh?
Right. Again, Shohei rises to the occasion like almost no one I've ever seen. So today, on the last day of the season, a largely unimportant game for them, he breaks the Dodger record for home runs in a season with 55, of course, which he held at 54. Should we not be amazed anymore?
55 home runs. He's going to start game 1. No, we still can't wrap our minds around just how unbelievable this guy is.
I agree. He's the greatest player we've ever seen.
Right. And if he does start game 1, let's say he does. You know how good Yamamoto has been the second half of the season? Paul Skeens the only pitcher with a lower ERA the second half than Yamamoto, and he is a perfectionist of the highest order. I was told he's always looking for the perfect throw, meaning every pitch has to be perfect for him. And they've told him, look, quality is more important than perfection. And if they can ever get him to think, I don't have to be the most precise man on every single pitch, I think he'll be even better, which is really saying something.
There's an argument to be made that the ball should go to Snell. There's an argument to be made that the ball should go to Yamamoto in that spot. But Ohtani's stature on this team reminds me of Larry Bird back in the 80s when they would go into a timeout and Casey Jones would draw up a play and Bird would say, forget about it, just give me the ball and get out of the way.
Right.
That's kind of what Ohtani's relationship is when decisions on the Dodgers. He tells them what he wants to do, and the Dodgers go, yes, sir. Just to be clear, the writers have to turn in their votes in the next 24 hours, right?
I will be doing mine tonight. I'm
Right.
voting on the National League MVP.
So the postseason doesn't matter at all.
Right. Nor should it, because if you're on a bad team, you should not be punished because you played on a bad team. So I think that's the right way to do it. Now, the National League MVP, well, I'm not going to talk about this because I'm voting, and I don't think you should be telling everyone who you're going to vote for, because that takes away from the drama of the middle of November when the announcement is made. Am I wrong about this?
Dave, can I tell you something? Tim hasn't told me who he's voting for. He's voting for Shohei Ohtani.
We know, right?
Yeah.
There's one guy who's ever won 2 unanimous MVPs, and I think he's going to win number 3 unanimously.
All right, so I
Don't say it, Tim. You got to
Don't
keep
say it.
it
We're not
secret.
saying it. I'm just telling Dave he's voting for
Is
Ohtani
there
because
any
he's such a
chance-
great offensive player and he's such a great pitcher.
All right, 54 homers for Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
Unquestioned leader, maybe the best leader in baseball on the second best team in the major leagues. Does anybody vote for Kyle Schwarber? It's okay to say no.
Yeah,
No.
you know, in some years, yes, but when it's 2 guys who are DHs and Ohtani's numbers are just a little better and he pitched, I don't see how you can vote for Schwarber, as important as he was to the Phillies.
Well, and we know, too, I mean, Kyle is a great teammate. He's a leader of that franchise. There's an argument to be made that right now the Phillies are the best team coming out of the regular season in baseball. He might get a sprinkling of votes, 1 or 2 first-place votes, but I mean, Ohtani's going to win overwhelmingly.
So a guy
In part because of Tim's support.
yes.
guy with the Dodgers told me, he just shook his head and he goes, I can't believe how good this guy is. He says every day he comes to the clubhouse, he is there to be the greatest player that we've ever seen, meaning his preparation, that every day he shows up, he's designed to be the best I can possibly be today. Let's face it, there are other guys who show up and maybe they're not ready to be the best player on the field today. This guy is always ready, and that is his secret. Does that sound right?
Yeah, look, as a kid, we grew up, you're reading about Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb and Lou Gehrig and Ted Williams, and you wondered, what was it like to watch those guys play? We've been able to watch a guy who's, in my opinion, better than those guys. As you said, Buster, he's the greatest baseball player ever.
And it's not even close. And you love to hear the stories about his devotion to the game. He's not a superstar who's distracted by doing this or doing that. Everybody who plays with him says that he cares about baseball more than any. He just, as you said, shows up early every day, does his work, gets prepared. It's why he's earned the right to tell the Dodgers what he wants to do on a given day.
I read a lead about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever. Shohei Ohtani pitched 5 no-hit innings in a game in which he hit his 50th home. Just think about those 2 sentences going together. No one's ever had those 2 sentences put together. Last thing, Buster, the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber's free agent at the end of the year. I know they're going to try to re-sign him.
Oh, yeah.
No Zach Wheeler. Where are the Phillies? We know they're really good. How good are they?
I think they're the best all-around team, okay? I mean, obviously, losing Wheeler is a huge factor. You're talking about a guy with a 1.12 postseason ERA. But Trey Turner's back. He was able to play in the final weekend, wrap up the batting title in the National League. We'll see how Christopher Sanchez does, Ranger Suarez. Aaron Nola has been better in his most recent starts. I still think, from top to bottom, it's the best overall team.
All right. Before we go, Buster, would you please explain what this is? I was told this is a potato.
What do you mean you were told? I grew that potato at our house, at our garden. I'm very proud of this. I'm giving this to Taylor Schwenk. I've got a bag of potatoes. You held it up like it was some...
It's hard as a
off the
rock. I've
moon or
never
something.
seen a baked potato that is this hard. How did you grow it?
Okay.
In the ground, I
Right,
presume.
I put it in the ground, and you put the eye up toward the sky, eye to the sky, and it grew, and we have a ton of them. And if I had known you were just Right.
All right, it's just a little hard. Did you bake this or do you slice it up? Because if you slice it up, you're going to need a jackhammer.
I brought it out of the
that.
ground yesterday. What are you talking about? Give me the potato.
All right, Buster, I'm sorry. I just didn't grow up on a farm like you did, so I don't know these things.
I think this feels like the heart of Mets fans right now.
Oh,
hard and sad.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I always found this interesting. So I got to see it with Ryan's kid, and you are who you are. You're great. You have all these accomplishments that you've made, but you walk in the clubhouse and you're just dad.
Yeah.
And your kids have favorite players. And as on the outside, we're like, oh, your dad has to be your favorite player, right? Do you know who your dad is? And they're just like, yeah, whatever. I see this dude every day.
Yeah.
Shane Victorino was Darian's favorite player. Started switch hitting, stopped switch hitting when Shane decided to stop, all that. And I'm like, bro, like, you chose Shane over your dad? Like, what are you doing? No, look, no slight to Shane. That's my little brother, but that's come on, bro. Who are your kids' favorite players?
Okay. Yeah. So it seems to change every year. Like, I think it's more of the cover of MLB The Show is a big
that's a big influence.
Big avenue. Obviously, probably 5-6 years ago, it was all Fernando Tatis Jr. Then obviously 2022 All-Star Game, he got to meet Shohei for the first time. And so now Shohei's like, it's even our favorite player, you know, like it's everyone's favorite player is Shohei. But I would say who Brandon and Max talk about is Freddie Freeman, because they can't really. Dad and Freddie Freeman they don't really they haven't really got it figured out yet. Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani, those are the names they can say.
Okay.
And so I would say Mookie, Shohei for Brandon and Max, and Charlie he loves like Ellie De La Cruz, like guys that can run fast, they can do all the tools, you know, like exciting players, the young like Bobby Witt Jr., like Charlie loves those guys. So but Charlie knows everybody. So we do the game called MLB Pickle, and where have you seen it? It's on the MLB app. You got to guess the player by certain clues. Like we always start with me, and then it'll say like if it's in the NL East or AL Central, and you got to guess. And it is amazing, Charlie, getting guys that, like last night's shout out Colson Montgomery, the shortstop, like Charlie got him. I was like, dude, this guy came up with 2 months to go last year. And like he just loves the game of baseball. So it's interesting. It changes every year, but I would say the exciting 5-tool players, I think is what the younger generation kind of grow toward. And seeing Ellie hit a ball 500 feet, throw it 100 miles an hour, stealing home, doing all kinds of crazy things. I think that's what, the younger generation kind of goes, not the 36-year-old old first baseman that lumbers around the bases.
Yeah, that's tough to frown upon on that when you can throw 100 from wherever and then go catch it yourself. So
it's just fun to watch too, because we're fans. We're all fans of baseball. We love the game, and seeing these guys doing what they're doing, like Aaron Judge hitting 55 home runs and hitting 330 and playing outfield. Cal catching every day, hitting 60 home runs. It's like, it's mind blowing to me. It's just.
What's the thought there, right? Because I remember when we were kind of coming up, it was like guys, for the most part, were dropping off 40, 45. Now you got guys hitting 50 on the regular. Shohei's done it 2 years in a row. Judge has done it probably the last 4 years in a row. Schwarbs is getting into the mix.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like when you're seeing guys now, especially, so you're the perfect person to ask in this situation because you were there when Jimmy and I were still there. We were the older guys then.
Yeah, you guys were
You were
old.
the young pup coming in, right? So from the pitching.
I heard that.
The pitching. Well, I'm right there with you, Jay. This is like, hey. But the pitching from when you came in to where the pitching is now, right? You got to face Savage, you got to face Mizrachi, all those guys from when you first came in. Because your first homer was off of Roy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Halliday, not too shabby.
Yeah,
that's something to put in the books.
I was there for that.
Yeah, you were.
I was there for that one. I watched it. But what is your take from when you see a guy, when you face a Roy Halladay, to where you're seeing the Mizraskis, the Savages, and the guys that you're facing in today's game?
Yeah, so I think the difference is there's a lot more guys that pitch like Roy, not were Roy. Like they were cutting it, sinking it, throwing curveballs, getting you off. Kind of almost like, I view Yamamoto kind of like Roy in the sense of how he could pinpoint a ball, his command. He was setting up hitters. Obviously, you know, Yamamoto's 97 to 99 and all that stuff. And I faced Roy at the end more of like 91 to 94. And, you know, I didn't get him early on, but it's a lot of throwing now. And I think that's the key that I've learned as I've gotten older is not swinging at that 1-0 heater that's on the inside corner blacked. It's okay to take that pitch and wait for them to miss their next spot and miss 3 inches out over the plate. And then that's my honey hole where I can just shoot that into the gap. So I think it's you got to know who you're facing. You know, like facing Yamamoto, maybe you shoot for that 1-0 heater in or that 1-0 cutter in and try and shoot him down the line and take the shot because you're not going to get many pitches to hit. And I think it's just different from when I came up. There's a lot more sink cuts, curves, change-ups. Now it's four-seam up, you know, and get above the barrel and pop that up, and then curveballs down below. The splitters are coming into the game now. So I think it's just you got to adapt, and then obviously the velocity has gone up so much in the last few years, and now you call them mop-up guys. They're just young guys that haven't really established themselves coming out of the bullpen throwing 98 to 100. I'm like, we're up by 7. Where's the 91 with sink? Like, that was what we were facing 15 years ago. That just doesn't happen anymore. So I think it's just like if you guys were playing now, you guys would adapt to it, and you like that's just how it is. You just get used to the velocity, and you're seeing it over and over again. But in the span of 16 years, I would say maybe you would count the one guy coming out of the bullpen throwing 95 to 98 when I came up in 2010, and now it's every guy. So the game has changed, and you know sometimes it's like we want the guys to throw as hard as they can. So now they're going full velocity for 2 years and they blow out, you know, and then, you know, you kind of feel bad for it because it's almost like next man, who's going to be the next guy to throw 100? And they're all throwing 100 now. And so much TrackMan's behind them and like spin rate. And this is like, well, your slider's only spinning 2100. Let's see if we can spin it 24. So now you're throwing it even harder and it's more torque on your elbow. So it's different from now than it was back in the day because everyone was just trying to hit spots when we were first coming up, when I first came up, and now it's just let's blow them away. And it's different. It really is. And as you get older, that fastball looks harder and harder and harder.
Do you change your bat? Do you change your bat at all, or you keep the same? I
have used the same bat for 17 years. Same model, same weight, same length. I have never changed. It has been the 34-32 cupped. CB15, Carlos Beltran's model. I have never changed. It's kind of like an I-13 barrel with a little thicker handle. It's been balanced for me. Even in August in Atlanta when I was playing there, even then I was so tired. It's just something when you pick it up and you're like, this just feels good, you know? Like, and I've never changed the weight.
There's probably a good chance Chase probably held your bat and probably has a model too.
For sure. For sure.
Chase probably has a
lot of people
Freeman
grab
model.
my bat and they're like, ew, you know, and hand it back to me. You know, there's so many guys that's bats. I'll pick up and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then like give it back to them. They leave. I'm like, that was terrible feeling, you know, like it's weird how some people's bats are like Shohei's bat's huge, you know, like, and like he swings it like a toothpick and I would never be able to swing it like him. So there's like, it's weird, different bats for different people.
What's he swing?
I think it's like a 35. I never really looked at the weight. It's heavier than mine because I can't. You know, it felt like I was swinging a.
Hey, he's in that SUV range, young James. I told you,
I was doing.
Sometimes you got to take the family. So my bat was a 35-34. So Shohei, that explains a lot.
And that explains
a lot.
30 rows to left center homers that you hit.
Like Freddie, I'm like you. I was convinced, you know, I say within 2 bats of R225, and I had a hybrid. It was I can't remember what it was called, but I switched over to Max 4, so the R225 and a Max 4. Those are my 2 bats, 33.5, 30.
Was that for left-handed and right-handed, or did you switch bats from left-handed to right-handed? Okay,
the same bat. I tried to mirror myself. And then there was one point where I was struggling, and Ryan would always come up to me, hey, you need to take that family vehicle out for, you know, you got to get rid of that sports car, take the SUV out. And he convinced me to swing his 35, 34-inch bat. That took a month in batting practice. The first 3 or 4 days I used it, I don't think I hit a ball out the cage. And everybody's looking at me crazy. And I'm like, well, I'm going to stick with it because I see what happened when a bat's in his hand. One day I was finally able to get, a feel for it. We were facing the Marlins. I think I was 2 for 3. I was feeling real good. It's one of the blowout games, just kind of put up some big runs. And somebody on the mound, I always heard Tony Gwynn say that the harder a guy throw, using a bigger bat is easier. It's just, he's just trying to get it from A to B. There's no movement. He's just trying to gas you up, and it's about timing. I took Ryan's big bat up there, got a 3-0 count, and I always look at Charlie because I love hitting 3-0. And Charlie be like, make that bell ring, son. So I'm trying to make that bell ring. He threw a 3-0 fastball, and I hit, and I knew it was gone, but because of the way it felt, but it was like a low line drive that hit a different gear. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was convinced. So I'm not saying to change your bat because it's worked for you. You're an MVP and look, I'm done. But I'm saying that if you ever got to a point where it's like, let me try something different in a blowout game, grab Shohei's bat and maybe you'll understand.
If he lets me.
Yeah.
So if he lets me. Shohei, I need your bat, man. Just shatter the thing.
One of his extras. He's one of his extras over there.
There it is. He'll never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Probably not.
No, he probably wouldn't know. He'd probably never know. But no, man, that's an interesting point I think that you bring, because we talk about it a lot of the times with the pitching from yesteryear to today's game, and we've had Pedro Martinez on and talking about like how guys don't necessarily pitch, right? They throw.
They're throwing.
To where guys, when you first came in, guys are trying to really locate and hit spots and weren't afraid to throw in, not necessarily trying to hit guys, but weren't afraid to hit guys to try to establish themselves on both sides of the plate.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really cool take to be able to have your perspective from then to now.
Yeah.
ご視聴いただきありがとうございました。今回の動画はいかがでしたか？あなたのご意見やご感想をぜひコメント欄で教えてください。当チャンネル MLB 侍放送局はこれからも大谷翔平選手や山本由伸選手、日本人メジャーリーガーたちの最新情報やニュースを翻訳して皆さんにお届けしてまいります。活動の励みになりますので、チャンネル登録や高評価での応援をよろしくお願いいたします。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。